and welcome to Season 3 of the CoderBros Go to White Castle. We're back to our original name because the CoderBros have been selected into White Castle's Cravers Hall of Fame 2026. Right,
Hall of Fame, baby.
Yeah, baby. I'm not even joking. So this is for real. Watch out for the
I think it's the class of 2025. But
last
we're
year.
Getting into the
sense.
26. Yeah.
All right, next time anybody goes to a White Castle, make sure to take a look at the stories on the sleeve, and you might even see the CoderBros on there.
That's right.
But deep down, we still are so Asian. So our guests, of course, are still all Asian, including today's guest. Wayne, which one of the 1 billion Asians in the world did we pick to be a guest today?
That's right. This is our lucky winner. Our guest today is a Stanford grad. I always got to start off with that, whether it's relevant or not. And
right.
It's always Stanford,
relevant.
It's always relevant. It's always relevant. So just got to throw that out there. Had and is still having a great career in consulting and product management at companies such as Red Envelope and Accenture, and is currently VP of Digital Platforms at CPB, I guess Central Pacific Bank. But that's all kind of the boring stuff to me. What's more important or more interesting is that she used to be a lead singer in a rock band. So we've got to hear all about that.
Not just
same as Hansel. Same as Hansel. That's where they have some some commonalities. And then also love to hear about how she was able to move from the Bay Area to awesome Hawaii. So aloha and welcome to Aileen Brennan.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I've never been on a podcast before, so I'm so honored.
I feel like I know you have a little bit of a Hawaiian accent or something. Do you have a Hawaiian accent?
Oh man,
is it?
Yeah, I say but other than that, my pidgin really sucks. I got to work on that. Yeah.
All right, well. For some reason, we didn't give you a round of applause. I think, Wayne, you forgot the sound signal.
Actually,
you'll edit it in later.
I was just looking into that. We might have to edit it in, but I actually hit play, and something is a little bit off.
Technical issues. All right.
But,
we've already burned 2 minutes off this podcast, so let's go. Eileen, tell us about yourself.
It's time to wrap it up now.
Yeah. Well, I am originally from North Carolina. My parents moved here from Taiwan, and I was born in South Carolina, kind of hung out in the Southeast and grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. So it was me, my sister, and a Vietnamese girl in our high school. So it was
a family? Okay,
yeah,
in your high school.
In our high school.
That one Vietnamamese girl.
Yeah.
There's always two Asians next to me. Yeah.
So when I went to Stanford, went from North Carolina to Stanford, and it was like 25% Asian. So that was really where I was able to kind of really connect with, my peeps and just kind of, immerse myself in the Asian culture. I mean, I grew up speaking Taiwanese at home, and we would visit, Taiwan during the summers.
So actual Taiwanese, not Mandarin, but actual Taiwanese?
Yeah, I'm old school. Yeah.
Wow, that is still down.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A lot of people don't go all the way to Taiwan. So, but how's your Mandarin? Is that pretty good as well?
It's pretty good too. Yeah, we'd go back during the summers and, visit relatives. So back in the day in Taiwan, you were not allowed to speak Taiwanese, right? So then I had to learn how to speak Mandarin. And of course,
I didn't know that because I didn't grow up in Taiwan. But what is that story? Is it because of the whole China Taiwan thing?
Yeah, it just wasn't cool or something. I really don't know the politics, but I just remember, in Wilmington, there was actually a small Asian population, right? And we actually would go to like Chinese school every Saturday. And Chinese school was literally like my a family friend who just would try to teach us Mandarin, and we would like have little exercise. But it was like me, my sister, my younger brother,
and the other one,
and the other dude. Girl. Yeah, exactly.
The Vietnamese girl who started learning Taiwanese.
Yeah. So I think, even though I still kind of grew up speaking Taiwanese, and we like ate Chinese food. My mom cooked; she's an amazing cook, and so I think even growing up in a predominantly white community. Or non-Asian community, I still was able to keep my Asian roots, but it really flourished when I went to Stanford.
Yeah, I bet. The West Coast, this is, now it's like all Asians here, but like, wait, Wilmington is where? I don't even know. Where is that?
It's right on the beach. So it's kind of cool. Like I kind of say that I went from one East Coast beach, one coast to the other. So now I'm like way over here.
So now you have coasts all around you. Now you're in Hawaii.
That's right.
So that's a
Yeah.
tiny town then, right? I mean, because the only thing I can think of in North Carolina is like the Research Triangle. So
Sure.
it's not a big. So Wilmington sounds like not a big city.
Wilmington's pretty small, although our claim to fame is we did have the Screen Gems movie. I guess it was a production company. So they would, okay, do you remember Dawson's Creek?
Oh yeah.
One Tree Hill,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh yeah, not my kind of show, but oh yeah. I
And
definitely
Scream.
But they were so big. Oh, Scream?
I know what you did.
Is that over there?
Yeah, I know what you did last summer.
Oh, yeah.
All those things were filmed in Wilmington.
Oh,
yeah.
they were filmed there.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
and even
like a
way back
miniature
in the
Hollywood
day.
there.
Yeah, no, seriously. And then
weird.
Terminator. I feel like they filmed
What?
some red. I don't know. So I could be
Terminator?
wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
filmed in
But
Wilmington?
I just
Yeah.
like little pieces. It's very weird. But I grew up
That's
actually
funny.
doing sometimes being an extra. I was in the
Oh.
no way.
live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was filmed there.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So-
You had to apply for that,
Love
right?
it.
I mean, you just like, go to the casting agency, which is like a little podunk office in Front Street. And like, they
Dude,
take your
we've tried
picture. Yeah.
We tried to do that. Like my biggest thing, I remember we did that in San Francisco. A bunch of our friends, I don't know if you guys did it or Wayne, you did it, but
I was in the Matrix.
Yeah,
Were
the
you
Matrix
like one of
one.
the 5
The
million
Matrix.
people in the
Oh, you made it?
background? Yeah,
I
I
was
was in
rejected.
it. Oh,
was rejected.
You made it? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I even met Keanu Reeves. He's
from
super
that?
nice.
That's crazy.
Actually, I saw him from far away when we were filming The Matrix 2 and 3. But then, like, I think he was back in town for some other thing, and he was just literally walking down Van Ness Street, and he like popped into, it was like a thrift store, like Buffalo Exchange. I don't know what you call it, but I actually followed him in there. And this is in the times before cameras were on phones, right? And so I had nothing on me except this San Jose Sharks ticket stub on me. And I was like, Mr. Reeves, you're awesome. And can you sign this? And he was just like, cool, sure. And he actually played.
You sound
He
like that
actually,
imitation of him. That
sounds
actually
like that.
totally brought me to him. Yeah,
yeah,
That's
dude.
just like him.
And he actually plays ice hockey, so it was kind of cool. He was like, "Oh, cool, you watched the Sharks game." So anyway,
That's
so neat.
awesome. You
Anyway.
didn't think to have him like sign your T-shirt or something? Here, sign on the chest right here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I heard
I
he was
wasn't.
like,
I'm not that forward. Yeah.
Right.
I heard he
Exactly.
was like such a nice dude though. Like when he takes
yeah.
pictures with women and stuff, he like doesn't really touch
Touch
them on
them.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's really
He's
cool. Dude.
amazing.
That's crazy. That's a great story though, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Let's see. So Wilmington, the I guess the Hollywood of the East Coast, which I
Right.
didn't know, all the way to Stanford, and then
Yep.
so did you have that mentality of I always wanted to be on the West Coast, like Stanford, gung ho, all that kind of stuff, or did you
Not
just fall
really.
into
I
it?
just knew that my, as Asian kids are, their parents want them to go to an Ivy League,
So
and
yours did. Yours had a little bit of whip cracking.
a little bit, yeah. And
Okay.
then my sister, Rainbow, she actually was a year ahead of me in school, and she went to Stanford.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was either, for me, it was either Duke or Stanford. And for me, I was like, I'm pretty much done with North Carolina. I want to try something else.
Yeah,
So
screw Duke. What a
Yeah.
terrible choice.
Exactly.
You're
They're
like,
terrible at basketball.
Got to choose between Duke or Stanford. I
But
don't
so
know.
from a young
Yeah.
age, your parents were all talking, MIT, Brown, all the
yeah.
Ivy Leagues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then did
Yeah.
they drive you really hard? Like, were you taking SAT preps and all that? And scoring
Actually,
1600s?
no. They
How did
were
you get
very,
in?
they
what's the
were
secret?
super,
Yeah,
they
what
were
is the
super
secret?
hands off. Like I don't know if it's just a generational thing, but literally, I mean, I talk to my friends who are my age these days, and I'm just like, gosh, I am such a helicopter parent, so opposite of what my parents were. Like my parents, they were just like, yeah, get your homework done, whatever. But
Then
I mean,
how
they were
did you
not
get,
like on me.
How did you
all
get
the
your
time.
the right essays to get in and all that kind of stuff? The SAT scores.
I think back in the day, there was no such thing as, college counselors
Right,
and,
right.
like people you pay to try to get into these
Yeah.
schools to strategize of what you need to do. I honestly, I am just I felt like I was just super lucky. And I think it was helpful for me being an Asian from North Carolina.
Yeah.
That helped
that
my
could be.
statistics. So.
Did
Yeah,
you put
you're
that
like,
you
what?
were an extra on your resume?
Yeah.
You're an extra in a
New
movie.
piano.
So yeah, no, I really feel like I was super lucky, and
That's awesome.
yeah, it was great.
So when you got there, did you feel, so I definitely like when I went from, so I grew up in Iowa, super white. And then when I went to school at WashU, I felt like, WashU is in St. Louis. There was a decent number of Asians, but I kind of felt like, whoa, hey, there's some Asians in this world other than me. And then when I went to San Francisco, I was like, oh my God,
holy shit.
Did you have that same kind of thing?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Oh my gosh, yeah, I went there. I was like, my people. I was just so excited. I basically joined every single Asian American community, like student organizations. So there was like UCA, the Undergraduate Chinese American Association, the Taiwanese Student Association. I even joined the Hawaii Student Association. and get this, the Filipino Student Association, because I wanted to like learn how to dance hip hop.
Filipinos learn hip hop. That seems racist in the opposite way, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
All the guys in the Jabberwockies, they're all Filipino probably. That's hilarious. Yeah. So were you always like, so now you're married to a white guy, right? Brandon's white.
Actually, no, he's half Japanese, half Caucasian, but you're right. The white genes run strong. Yes. Okay.
He could pass
he
for
totally,
white.
Yes, he does.
He's never had some guy come up to him and go ching chong, whatever.
No, not at all.
Probably not, right?
No. Like, actually, yeah, people look at us and they, when we're in Hawaii walking around, they think I'm the local because, I'm Asian and he looks more white.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. So you were super into the Asian scene in Stanford. Did you date Asian all the way up until Wasian?
I was always
like
a Wasian. I was like a super late bloomer. Like I just was a nerd and just had a lot of friends. I mean, I kind of had a boyfriend my freshman year, but I had no idea how to be a girlfriend. I was just like, hello.
You mainly just played.
We're gonna go see a movie
with him. Is what you're saying. And you were like, we're dating, right? We're doing D&D.
No, actually, I never got into D&D, but I just wanted to like go dancing all the time at like various Stanford is very much it's not a very fraternity or sorority kind of Greek heavy place. So pretty much the fun thing you do every weekend is you just go to whichever dorm is having a dance party and you just go party hop and you're just dancing away. So it was for me. It was just that was my fun. And that
does not sound like a nerd. Were you at Stanford or what were you?
I was actually pre-med, so I had to nerd out. And again, the familial from Asian parent pressure of doctor or lawyer, right?
That really pleases them. They want a doctor in the family, so.
Yeah, but sad to say, it ended with our generation. So I did do I actually even took the MCATs, but
that's pretty far.
Yeah, and I did okay, but I knew I took it a cycle late, so I knew I would have to graduate, and then while I was working working at whatever job I would then apply to med school. But that's when, it's the late 90s, the dot-com boom, and I joined Accenture. So number one, I was super lucky that Accenture hired me because I was just like super nerd and, had
so you were pre-med, but you got into Accenture. Because if I remember correctly, like Accenture doesn't even care. They just want smart people. They don't need the degrees.
Pretty much. Yeah, because honestly, you go through like 6 weeks of training where they mold you to be a programmer.
Yes,
St. Charles.
I remember those days. Those were the craziest party. That was
oh my God. Yes.
Those are the days you'd just be up like 3 days in a row.
Oh yeah,
like
it's crazy. So kind of like the days of Love Boat. I actually went to Love Boat the summer after my freshman year. So yeah.
So Accenture's money is going to good use. I'm happy to hear that. It's just like.
So you went to Love Boat during Stanford? I thought that was typically
I did actually. Yeah, no, actually, I don't know why, but I went the summer after my freshman year.
After your freshman year.
Yeah, so I wasn't even 21, but so
so you said everything.
There's no restriction. I went clubbing. I won't say anything about alcohol consumption, but yes.
That's right. Your
it's
mom
to
might
be
be listening.
The drinking age has got to be 18 there, right?
16. No, I was kidding.
Before we started this podcast, you said everything is on the table. So we have to ask the question of when you went to Love Boat, how many people
Yes.
did you hook up with?
Actually, again, you know what? I was a nerd.
Zero,
I was
nice.
a very late bloomer. Nobody. I
Just
had
dancing, just
I
dancing.
was just dancing.
Dancing.
Always at the clubs dancing.
Always
Okay.
dancing.
I had a crush on someone, but he didn't like me back. So I was like, all right,
Oh.
whatever. I'll hang out
Okay.
with my roommates. Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
Okay. So Accenture was after graduation.
Yes.
And then, so you were, by then, obviously, you were just like, okay, screw the med thing. These guys,
Yeah.
Accenture's give me a ton of money.
That's
So
right.
I'm just going to go tech.
Yeah.
That's how you ended up.
Pretty
in tech?
much. Yep. I've always been sort of a go with the flow kind of person. And luckily it has taken me to great places. And so and luckily my parents were okay with it, but I think they were just kind of like, great, you have a job. You're not asking for
that's
money.
right. Yeah.
I mean, Accenture is a pretty good job.
Accenture is
Yeah.
really good. And the positions that you've had in tech and in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
I think your parents probably are like, hey, this could be better than being a doctor. You can just pay for
Yeah.
my doctoring,
That's right.
you know?
And actually, like, I realized, later in life, actually more recently, like when, my kids, when they got like a banged up knee and I saw like blood, I actually get queasy. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think I would have been a good
You
doctor.
would not have been very good then. Probably not. Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, fate has his ways, I guess. So
Yes.
you took the right path. So
did.
you went from there to Red Envelope, and then you sort of just did the whole tech path until now
Yep.
you're doing the VP thing. Is it who you are? I don't know. I didn't get the sense that you were like a tech person at heart, but more like go with the flow. But I felt like you're more like a cheerleader, high energy salesperson almost, rather than a tech person.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have always been more of an extrovert, but I'm horrible at sales. Like I cannot, I can't, I can't schmooze and wine and dine people. Like my husband is on the sales side, in the banking industry. But yeah, like I think I've always been a techie at heart, and just been a very extroverted techie.
Okay. So you consider yourself an extrovert though, because Wayne and I talk about like a lot of our Asian friends think they're introverts.
Yeah.
But you actually get energy from talking to people? That's your thing?
I do. Yeah. I even took the Myers-Briggs and I am an E.
Okay. Well, then you got to be
you are
okay.
a true
Thing's always right.
extrovert. Because all these other Asians, even the ones that we try to guess who might be extroverts, when we actually meet them and talk to them in seriousness, they say no, they're actually that's an act.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like just sort of hanging out and at their home to relax, I guess. Do you ever do that? I mean, because you got your kids now, so you almost don't even have a chance to.
No.
Like right now, you're in a room by yourself. Does that energize you? But I guess you're talking to us.
But you're connected to us now.
That's
We're
right.
energizing you.
That's
We're giving you the energy.
Yep, you got it. Yeah, no, quiet nights at home are not in existence. We have like a weekly Saturday movie kind of a tradition where we all, me, Brian, and the kids, hang out and we pick a movie and we watch it. So that's kind of our thing.
Cool.
So we've gone through the gamut of like, we've seen all the Marvel series, all the Avengers, all the Star Wars. So now
they're
fun.
10 and 13. So what is your Asianness towards them? What is your helicopterness? Because you got to get ready for college.
That's true.
13, but you gotta get ready.
They got to score 1,600. They
Right
need
now.
to also have already founded some kind of a nonprofit.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's
the kids
so
today,
crazy. Yeah.
But what are you
Hawaii,
doing for them?
It's got to be totally different though, right? You guys probably don't have the similar pressure, do you guys?
There's an undercurrent. Like I think a lot of people are trying to be chill, but no, I mean, so last year was Kainoa's first year at Punahou. So he's following in Brian's footsteps
But
and
there's
started
a group of people there trying to go Ivy Leagues. And things.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're all
I
at
have.
Punahou.
Yep.
They're all at Punahou.
Yeah.
I remember at WashU, there were some people from Hawaii. I mean, definitely people from Hawaii hit the top colleges too.
I mean, the thing with Hawaii is, right, like all the public schools are terrible. And so all the people with money and who have aspirations for the kids go to private school, and the top private school is Punahou.
Yep.
So like if you want to go to a top school, your kids got to go. And there's an application.
You got to go to
process, isn't
Punahou.
there?
Oh yes. I mean, it's crazy. It's like you're applying to college. You got to take the SSAT. So yes. So therein, I have been a little bit of that tiger mom where I'm like, yes, I'm going to make my child go to the SSAT tutoring twice a week, 2 hours a day.
There you go.
Because I mean,
you are a tiger mom.
But it's more about I'm lazy though, because I know I could not make them do it. I don't want to teach them. I don't want to, make them sit down and, go through that big old SSAT prep book. So kind of lazy tiger mom. Yeah, that's
tiger. Okay.
So now that
he's in Punahou, then they're going to start hiring all these like tutors and like college counselors. Yeah. That's how you be lazy mom.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, but I think for me, it's about, I think these days college is so different. I think there's a lot of wonderful, amazing universities out there. So I think it's really about just finding the right fit. It's not about getting into the top school. It's about just, finding the right fit. And then the hopeful thing is, getting scholarships. So both my kids are, avid baseball players. Kainoa is an amazing, he's been an all-star for the past, several seasons. He got to go to the 12U World Series in Branson, Missouri.
World Series.
Oh, Branson, Missouri. Right.
Yeah.
So that's got to be, you got to be like top.
Don't they always play then the team from Taipei, and then that team from Taipei always wins? I mean,
this time Japan won. But Taiwan, there was 2 Taiwan teams there. So it was super fun. I got to go up to them and practice my Taiwanese. And they're like, who's this crazy auntie talking to me?
Yeah, they probably thought you were spying, trying to get their strategy out of them.
Stats and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, no.
To help the American team. Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
So
you think they might be recruited? I mean, because you got to be insane.
I'm crossing my fingers. He just made the Punahou baseball intermediate team, which was pretty competitive. So he's on the right track. We'll see.
Wow. That's got to be a lot of fun, too, for a parent to go to these games and cheer on. I mean, it's a lot of work. Because from Hawaii, you guys probably have to fly to mainland all the time? To do these games and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, we basically the past few summers have been that's our summer travel, is we go to the mainland for this or that tournament. But it's fun because, we get to go to really random places like Branson, Missouri, Florence, Alabama.
There, you're naming all the hot spots. Those are so popular.
That's so far.
I think that isn't sports evolved kind of like how getting into college, people have the counselors, everything. But in sports now, kids probably even your age have a specialized batting coach, a throwing coach.
It's crazy. Yeah, there is that.
So they do have that?
They do. And, part of me, I don't know if it's just because I'm not rich.
Baseball.
Yeah, I'm like, you just play.
You just play. Yeah. And you're good or you're not. And you don't have all this craziness.
Yeah. I'm trying not to buy into all that because I'm just like, well, yes, it's helpful, but I don't know. I don't want to burn them out, but I want them to have fun.
Don't you need it to get a D1 scholarship?
In order to get a scholarship,
you're competing with all the other kids.
Right?
True, true.
4 hours of private tutoring to know how to throw a curveball or something. I mean,
I'm hopeful that, through his experience and luckily, Brian, he was a pitcher at Punahou and he actually walked on to the ASU baseball team. So
he played varsity at ASU. Brian?
I think it was JV, but still amazing.
Still amazing for a white boy. I mean, Wasian boy, a white Wasian boy. Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting though to go through that process and maybe have a coach recruit you guys and stuff. But I'm curious though, the whole Hawaii thing is, I guess Hawaii's big into sports, but to me Hawaii's always been the super chill part of America. Right? Mm-hmm. When we go there, everything is slower, everything's about the shaka, but it sounds like there's still an undercurrent of
yes.
You gotta get
oh yeah,
that's everywhere
there
then, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're always gonna run into the tiger moms and the overly zealous moms. I try to tread the fine line between the two. So
yeah, because you're supposed to be just eating those Hawaiian lunch plates, chilling out at the beach. But then there's this undercurrent of we need to get into Harvard.
That's why you go to Hawaii, right? Is to be all chillax. Is that? And then why did you go to Hawaii? Was it because of your husband or?
Yes, yeah. So we met in San Francisco. A bunch of his buddies were living there, in the early 2000s, and he was just like, he was in Arizona, so he's like, I want to hang out and have fun. And so he came out. I met him through some friends of friends. So I don't know if you were in the drink club days, right? Like the party scene. And we just got to be good friends. Yeah.
Mike Bale, yeah.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Partier.
So you had to be good friends, and because he grew up in Hawaii, and this is his life, you guys went back.
Yep. On our second official date, he was like, would you ever be open to moving to Hawaii?
What?
And I said,
what?
Yeah, I said, we were
Just,
not spring chickens, okay? We met in our late,
you're like, my bio clock is ticking. I need babies in about.
Would you move to Hawaii like next week? Would you pack right now?
No, because so I was just like, because I guess his last girlfriend, she was from Hawaii, but she never wanted to move back. But they dated for 6 years, so he was just like, okay, my next, I gotta just be upfront. 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right.
It's efficient. It's very efficient.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, that was, and then the craziest thing, and I'll tell you a quick story. It was told at my wedding. But back in the day when I was 5 years old, we visited some family friends in Hawaii. And I had a journal back then, and I had written in my journal, and my sister pulled my journal and she showed it to the crowd at our wedding.
No way.
And it said, I will marry a Hawaiian boy.
No way.
And I'm like, manifestation.
Look at
happened.
that.
That's an amazing story, honestly. I know. And that Rainbow pulled that out and showed everybody.
But did it say you'll marry a Wasian?
Yeah, that's right. Baseball player. But when he asked that question, did you wholeheartedly really say yes and no?
Yeah.
Or were you just like, yes, but like, it's
Yeah.
only on our second date. Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, no, it was like only our second official date, mind you. So it was many chats on, Yahoo Messenger, that back in the day, so really kind of getting to know each other, late night talking, through. So it wasn't AOL Messenger, but it was Yahoo Messenger. That we got to know each other.
So you're not that old.
I know, not AIM.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
All right, well, so let's see. We're getting towards the end here, but let me ask before we get to the next part. We got to talk about your White Castle. Since we are now going to White Castles, we got to ask you, what do you feel like is the White Castle of your life?
Honestly, it's going to sound super cheesy, but I feel like I think it's all about like having or setting my kids up to have like an even better life than I did. Not that I had a horrible life at all, but it's just
you had a great life. Isn't that going to be really difficult?
What school can they go to that's better than Stanford?
They're not going to do better than Stanford. And,
But it's really just about like, raising them to just be content with where they are and being happy, And then I think I don't want to like have my happiness depend on their happiness. But just wanting to know that like I've set them up for success and like given them the right tools of resiliency and mindset to just kind of be happy where they are. Cause I think sometimes we've all gone through periods of time where it's like comparing ourselves to other people and like, well, this person's a, CFO or founder of this, right? I mean, hello, I'm from Stanford and there's a ton of people in my class who've done amazing things. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, I'm okay with that. And I think that's my White Castle, is just being content with where you are at your stage of life, and then hoping that I can give that same mindset to my kids and having them feel that same way.
Because the whole thing with it comparing is everybody compares, which is terrible because, if you look on Instagram, all you ever see are like perfect,
beautiful people traveling to beautiful places and their families always look happier. And like, and then you might be like arguing with your kids and you're just like, oh my gosh, but
that's a good message. Good message for kids and good message for us all. Wayne, hit that gonger and we will go into
sound effects.
So you know what? I'm looking at my applause one and it's on mute. So there you go.
Nice.
Tech fail.
Yes, tech fail.
User
error. ID10T.
Right.
Let's jump into our Haru quiz. 3 questions for you to see how Asian you actually are.
I am ready.
You are ready. Good. Here we go. Number 1. Which of these countries have the lowest population of these 3? None of them are China, because we all know China is the biggest. Which of these Asian countries have the lowest population? Between Japan, Vietnam, and all of Korea, north and south.
We have the lowest
Population. So Japan of people.
of people.
Not
They
Asians.
could be white people.
Yes.
They're in Asia. It's
All
three
races
countries are in
included.
Asia.
Okay.
All races included, just
All
people.
races included.
Okay.
All race population. That's right. Japan,
gonna
Vietnam,
say-
or all of Korea. Yes.
C, all of Korea. Final
all of
answer.
Korea. That is correct. All of Korea.
Yes. All
That is
right.
crazy though, because they have such an outsized impact on culture, right? K-pop is from
Oh
there.
my
It's
God,
like
yeah.
K-pop Demon
Yeah.
Hunters.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
I did see
That's
that movie.
awesome. I'm sure. Did you guys watch that as your family when you said?
Oh
you did?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
a good
family
Without Brian though, because otherwise his ears were gonna bleed. So
Oh, okay.
Now, how many times have you watched it though?
only once.
Yes.
Only once. But we
I
have
agree.
we've heard that song Golden like many
But that
times.
song is so popular. Yeah.
But Wayne,
Yes.
you have two girls though. How many times have you guys watched it?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, the first time we watched it without Ella because she was busy or something, and so then we kind of put it on again. But then this time we forced her to watch it in Mandarin because we've been trying to have her
wow.
in Mandarin. So that was
Tiger
hilarious.
parents.
Yes. Tiger
Right, Tiger
Parents.
parents. If you met my kids, you would just know. Even if we tried, we're failing. You know, so very much against all that stuff. But yeah,
Awesome.
so at least twice. But just listening to the song right on the radio. It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
It's pretty catchy though.
we
Honestly.
actually somebody wanted us to do that for our upcoming gig, and I was like,
Oh,
I
boy.
cannot sing Golden.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, you can.
super high.
You got
I don't know.
to. You have to
Oh,
just
Oh, you
bring
know
it
what?
down.
You should listen. There's actually a Hawaiian version of Golden.
Oh,
Isn't that
Hawaiian
crazy?
version.
And it's a
Ukulele?
dude singing. It's a dude singing. So
Oh,
Wow.
I'll
okay.
send it to you.
We want to do one of those versions. I think it would
Yeah.
be hilarious.
That would be funny. Okay, question number 2. In Hawaii, since you're in Hawaii, the Chinese are the third largest Asian population. What is number 2 and what is number 1?
Oh,
One
I
of
would
these is easy.
say Japanese is number 1.
Yeah.
Number
They are number
2.
2, actually.
What?
But it is Japanese. Yeah,
Okay,
But they're
okay.
definitely more. Yeah, I knew there was
Yeah.
tons of
Nope.
Japanese
Uh-huh.
there.
Number 1 is
Okay.
surprising to me.
Oof. Filipino?
Filipino it is!
What the-
Yes!
Woo!
Yes!
Wow, I just didn't think
Nice.
there was like that many Filipinos anywhere, right? Like
I was going to say,
over
when I go to
Chinese and
Hawaii, I
Japanese.
don't
Yeah.
think I see Filipinos. Are there
I see
Filipinos there
lots
now?
of Japanese though, and a lot of
Yeah.
you know.
Well, there's some really good Filipino restaurants here, so yeah,
Are
okay.
there? I can't even think
Yeah.
of that. I
Yeah.
always think
What
of,
is one?
you know,
Mm. Now that you say it,
See?
none
No,
come to mind.
see?
It's all the local.
You're like, I've
no-name
never
mom and
been
pops
to one. That's
Yeah.
right. You know.
yeah, I always think of, this is going to sound totally racist, but I think of when you go to Hong Kong, like everybody has a maid.
Oh, the
and they're
nanny or
all
the- yeah,
and they're all
yeah.
Filipino and Thai. And so when I think Filipino, I think like those maids. But
Right.
I can't think of seeing a lot of Filipinos in Hawaiian.
Well,
but I guess
I
they
mean,
come
again, not to
localized.
be racial, but nurses, yeah.
Oh, nurses? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Probably,
anyway,
yeah.
number one
But
largest
they're number
Asian
one
population.
in
Who knew?
Hawaii.
Wow.
Of
All
the
right,
Asians.
that's-
Who
Yeah.
knew?
Where do the
Okay.
whites rank?
Yeah.
I know, seriously, right?
Pretty
Are
far
they
down.
above like the Japanese and above the Chinese, or like are they?
I
below
think they're
the Chinese?
down. Yeah, they're like number 5 or
way
something.
down.
I don't even know.
It's
Yeah.
got to be majority
Yeah.
Asian in Hawaii, right? It
Yeah.
seems like it is.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
that
it's
one I
cool
did not
that
know.
like my kids get to kind of be, grow up in a completely opposite community than I did. Yeah.
Is that cool, or is that because Wayne and I talk about this a lot too, because in the Bay Area it's like that, around where we are, you go outside, it's like China everywhere.
Yeah.
But then when we travel to the Midwest, it's like, wait, where'd all the Asians go? Even like
Yeah.
DC, which is a big metro area, it's pretty white. So
Interesting.
I thought it was a weird bubble, like here in
Yeah.
Hawaii. It's
Yeah.
almost like too many Asians.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I grew up in Alabama, and so there was obviously a lot of weirdness being Asian. But then when I
Right.
look back, I'm kind of like, maybe it's not so bad in that you feel very special though too.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
you're
True.
just like,
yeah. I was
one of
also
the
really lucky
unique.
that I didn't really get any like discrimination. Like
Oh,
I
really?
feel like
Nobody ever
people
made
would
fun of
look at
you?
me people would look at me funny, but I'd be like, "Oh, right, they don't see many of me around,"
Yeah,
But I just didn't care and I didn't notice.
that's
or
like
there was
Hansel.
just-
Like me,
yeah,
I
I was
was
just like, whatever.
Yeah, I think Hansel
whatever.
just didn't
Call
notice.
me Ching Chong, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. He's just like, oh, so you have a speech impediment? You just can't say
Okay.
it properly? Okay, no problem. You know?
Okay, question number 3 goes back to the K-pop Demon Hunters we were just talking about.
Oh boy.
So this has been, I think, top 10 on Netflix. Every time I open Netflix, it's been in the top 10 forever. Right. So plus or minus 1 month, how long has K-pop Demon Hunters been in the top 10 on Netflix? It is a record, by the way. It's the longest.
Yeah. When was it released? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say 13 months.
13 months? No.
No. I was gonna get the win just based on that anyway. But yeah.
It's actually only been 7 months, but that's the longest ever.
It feels like 2 years.
Released? I don't even know.
But top 10 for that long is crazy.
That's amazing.
This means all the kids are playing it on repeat. I guess none of our kids are, but
no.
Yeah.
I actually did not really like the movie that much. I just thought the storyline was kind of dumb. I didn't have any desire to watch it again.
Yeah, no, I watched it once. I'm like, it was good, catchy, catchy music. But I mean, gosh, how many people were, what's that name? Rumi for Halloween? There was so many Rumis running around.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it was bigger than Frozen pretty much. And Frozen was
that's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah. So gotta give it.
Yeah.
I mean, gotta give it
props. Yeah, that's amazing. I read a story about the creator and how she was so persistent, and it was after 13 years of initially thinking about, I don't know, it was just
really
very I could be wrong, but I just know that she waited a long time to make it happen.
I was gonna say that seemed like the kind of movie that somebody just shot from the hip and just kind of just threw it out there. It didn't
threw it out there, and it just kind of hit right place, right time. But I did think the music was better than I was expecting.
Oh yeah,
it was so overall,
it's very professional. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Aileen, let's wrap up this podcast with your grand life tip for all the Asians out there.
Okay.
Make it good.
I actually thought about this. Okay, I got 3. All right. So number 1, don't be afraid to say no to things. But if you happen to say yes, then, fulfill your duties that you agreed to, because there's always something to be learned along the way. So example, I was asked to be the president of the local Honolulu chapter of a international women's volunteer organization, Junior League of Honolulu.
Nice.
And I was like, wait, what? And I said, I was a little bit pressured into it.
You're like, the title sounds awesome, but I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, but I felt that. I was like, well, but they're entering their 100th year in Honolulu. I think it'll be exciting. So I said, okay. I said yes. And yes, that was probably the hardest. In my gut, I feel like maybe I should have said no, because it was a really tough 2 years of my life. But like I said,
did you regret it?
No, I did not. There were times I did, but I think looking back, it was definitely a really good experience. I learned a lot. It was a really good growth opportunity. But no way in hell would you do it again, it sounds like. Right. So then in the future, I tell people in the future, it's like, go with your gut. Say no if you don't feel guilted into doing it. But if you happen to say yes, then stick it out. Yeah, exactly.
So your advice to yourself is to go back in time and say no, then, basically.
Well, no, actually, I look back and I'm like,
You're glad you did it.
It was hard, but I appreciate the time and the people that I met along the way. So
that seems like that's one of those positions. I mean, it's pretty big. You can meet a lot of people where you wouldn't want to put in the work, but once you do, there's a lot of reward.
Yes.
That's awesome. Congrats. Okay. Tip
number 2. This kind of is something that came from a positive intelligence training that I took. Luckily, Central Pacific Bank was able to let me do it.
Tony Robbins came to talk to you?
No, little different. Actually, it's a Stanford grad, Shirzad Shamin. But he, one of the things he says is surf the waves of life, because it's about knowing understanding what you can control and what you can't. And obviously the ocean, you cannot control the ocean. So use that surfer mindset. And again, I'm not a surfer, but I'm surrounded. I grew up surrounded by surfers, and I'm still here surrounded by surfers. But it's about riding those waves, the highs and the lows, and just you know you can't control it, so you might as well just do your best and survive.
Yeah, with whatever
and make it.
Yeah,
exactly. So
go with the flow. Okay.
Yes, go with the flow. Exactly.
Wayne, you're great at that.
Yeah, I definitely am. And like when the big ugly waves come in, I just duck dive them, because it's like you're gonna get pounded. So you got to know which waves you can even try.
There you go.
Ride,
very good.
honestly.
Very good.
That's a huge part.
Very good.
And then
great tip.
My last tip is number 3 is be kind. And that's something that I feel like so many, in this kind of crazy day and age that we're in, where there's a lot of conflict and, there's days even when, I'm just like minding my own business and there's just some mean person that just comes along and just ruins my day. And I'm like, what's your problem? And then you want to like fight fire with fire, but instead you're like, you know what? Let's just calm down. Let's not escalate it. They probably just had a bad day and I just happened to come across their path, and, it's not personal and I don't know what their backstory is. And, so I'm going to just be kind. So that's my thing.
I like that. If we can all do it, that's the hard part, right? I think when you're in that situation and somebody is coming up at you, your first defense, like you said, is to kind of fight fire with fire. But if we can all be kind, I think that'll make the world a better place.
It's definitely times like that with the road rage or whatnot.
Oh my gosh,
You do got to try to, and I'm terrible at it, honestly. I get pissed off. But
really? I feel like you're really good at it, Wayne. I feel like you're like able to just like not be pissed at anyone.
I don't know. Sometimes maybe it just depends. But yeah, I think you just have to take a step back, because whenever something happens, they've probably been under some terrible, weird circumstances or a bad day. And you kind of just never know.
Yeah.
But,
all right, everybody will be
job with the kind bars. The kind bars.
Yeah, then you can be kind every day.
Yes.
You can be kind every day, and you can eat healthy. And probably get a discount.
Nice.
All right, we'll end the podcast on that note of being kind to everybody. Aileen, thanks for being on. But
thank you so
congrats
much.
Also for all the cool stuff you've done.
Yeah.
We're all doing a gig together, I know, in May, and everybody who's listening is invited to the gig.
The one night only.
Although there was a max count, right? 150.
No, we're
Not
getting
anymore.
a bigger venue.
Oh yeah, we changed it.
Everyone's invited.
That's right.
All Asians, all billion Asians.
And non-Asians.
And non-Asians. Yes, indeed. All right, well, thanks, Aileen.
Thank you.
We are sponsored by none other than the Coder School, a company that teaches kids how to code with over 70 locations all around the country. So if you're interested in getting your kids to code, head online and check us out. Learn to code, change the world. Thanks for listening.